I hate to break it to you, y'all, but you cannot out hustle the anvil on your chest. Like, if slowing down doesn't feel safe, this video is for you. Because that feeling, that constant need to be on, it isn't discipline. It's not drive. It's your nervous system running a pattern that it's actually sabotaging your revenue. Let me show you what I mean. By the way, if you're new here, I'm Chase Tollison, business authenticity coach. I work with high-performing coaches who are doing well on paper, but feel that they're constantly running on a treadmill they can't get off. And here's what I hear all the time, guys. I have an overwhelming laundry list of action items I could be tending to move the needle in my business. So when distractions come up, I get so angry. Sound familiar? I mean, I've been there. So you task jump, you avoid the hard things, you tell yourself, I don't have time because time is running out. And underneath all of that is this belief that if I get distracted with meaningless tasks, I'm going to miss something, drop the ball, and lose everything. So let me paint you a picture of what this actually looks like. You wake up, before your feet even hit the floor, your brain is already running through the list. The calls you need to book, the content you need to post, the clients you need to follow up with, the VA you need to check in on. So you sit down on your computer. You have 10 tabs open. No, 20. You got 30 open in your mind. And you're looking at 3 different things you need to do, and you can't figure out which one to start with because they're all important. So you bounce between them, right? You start one thing, get distracted, jump to another. You spend 10 times longer than a normal person on simple tasks because your brain is already 3 steps ahead, thinking about the next fire you need to put out. And when something goes wrong, when your VA can't get into QuickBooks, when a lead reschedules, when literally anything doesn't go according to plan, whether you want to admit it or not, you get furious. Not just annoyed, but like actually fucking angry. Because it's not actually about QuickBooks. It's about the fact that you feel like you're already behind, time is running out, and now this? So you keep going. You keep pushing. You keep telling yourself, I just need to keep going. It doesn't feel safe to slow down or stop. But like you won't admit it doesn't feel safe if you're being honest. Like you just say, like, I need to get shit done. But here's the kicker. This pattern is actually killing your revenue. Right? And most people will tell you that you just need better time management, guys. You just need to batch your tasks. You need to use the Eisenhower matrix or the Pomodoro technique or whatever productivity hack is trending this week. Read essentialism. Read the one thing. And here's what they're missing. You don't have a productivity problem. Let me say that again. You do not have a productivity problem. You have a safety problem. You have a safety opportunity. Your nervous system learned at some point that staying on edge equals staying safe. That being on alert means you won't miss something. That if you slow down, something bad will happen. Let me give you an example from a recent client, right? She came to me because she was exhausted. She was doing everything right. Posting content, booking calls, serving her clients, but she felt like she was constantly in fight or flight mode. When we dug in, we found a memory from when she was young. Yelling for her parents. I want you. I want you. But no one came. So she took care of herself. Got herself ready. Searched the house. And she finally found her parents out in the backyard. And they like didn't even acknowledge that she'd been scared. And that moment taught her nervous system adults can disappear while physically present. I need to stay on watch. Fast forward to her business. She's constantly scanning for danger. What's going to go wrong? Am I going to miss? What am I going to miss? Who's going to disappear on me? Her productivity was actually hypervigilance dressed up as ambition. So what does this actually cost your business? First, decision fatigue. When you're operating from fear, every decision feels massive. Should I post this? Should I reach out to that lead? Should I invest in this tool? You second guess everything because your nervous system is screaming that one wrong move could cost you everything. Second, task jumping kills momentum. You're not actually getting more done by bouncing between tasks. You're fragmenting your focus. And when your focus is fragmented, your content is fragmented. Your sales calls are fragmented. Your client delivery is fragmented. Your retention is fragmented. Your revenue is fragmented. Third, you repel the clients you want to attract. High-level clients can feel when you're operating from scarcity. They can sense the urgency, the need, the please say yes energy, and it makes them hesitate. The clients you do attract, they often mirror your internal state. This is the uncomfortable truth. Like most coaches, that stings. That's weird. That's icky, right? And they're exhausting to work with. Right? They're also operating from fear. They're also hypervigilant, and they exhaust you even more. Fourth, you cannot scale chaos. You might be able to white knuckle your way to 15, 20K, even 30, occasional $50,000 a month. But when you try to scale past that, when you try to add team members or systems or leverage, the chaos multiplies. Because you cannot delegate when you don't trust that things will get done. You can't build systems when you're constantly putting out fires. You can't lead a team when you're barely keeping your own head above water. So how do you shift this? Well, step one, name the pattern. Write out what happens when you try to slow down. What comes up? What does your brain tell you? For a lot of my clients, I don't have time to do this. Time is running out. If I get distracted, I'm going to miss something, drop the ball, lose everything. Get it out of your head and onto paper because you can't change a pattern you can't see. But it's not just intellectualizing your feelings, right? We get to find where it started. That feeling of, I need to stay on alert or something bad will happen. When's the first time you remember feeling that, right? So when your parents let you down? Is it when your dad went down the street and you didn't know he went down there, so you were home alone with your little brother? That's mine, right? For you, it might be something completely different. Maybe it was a parent who was unpredictable. Maybe it was a time you got in trouble for not being prepared. Maybe it was watching a family member struggle financially and learning that you always need to be hustling. Specific story doesn't matter as much as finding it and feeling it. You don't intellectualize it and go, oh, I know where it came from. That's just step one, right? Finding it. Then you get to feel it all the way through. This is the part most of y'all avoid. Then you get to read it out loud with breath because this is where the magic happens. You read the story slowly. You take a full breath between sentences. You let yourself actually feel what that younger version of you felt and didn't finish feeling. Because here's what most people don't understand. The emotion is still stuck in your body. It's still running the show. And until you move it through you, it's going to keep driving your behavior. Any feeling felt fully is bliss, but you have to actually fucking feel it. And the last step, you rewrite the meaning, right? So for a lot of my clients, story is, I don't have time. Time is running out. I'm going to lose everything. I have so much to do. So much to do. Often comes down to, I have 3 or 4 rocks on my list to move the needle in my business. Not an overwhelming laundry list. 4 rocks, y'all. And then what if it's actually safe to slow down? Not as an affirmation they don't believe, but as a question that creates space for a deeper possibility. And here's what I need y'all to understand. Your ambition is not the problem. Your drive isn't the problem. The problem is when your ambition is actually a disguised panic response. When you're using productivity to avoid feeling what's underneath. When you're using hustle to outrun the fear that if you stop, everything will fall apart. I mean, I've been there. I spent years believing that my edge came from being angry, that my success came from the pressure on my chest, that if I released it, I'd lose my drive. But here's what actually happened when I did this work. I became more productive, not less, because I wasn't wasting energy on task jumping and second guessing and putting out fires that I'd created with my own chaos. I could make decisions faster because I wasn't operating from fear. I could focus deeper because I wasn't constantly scanning for danger. I could scale easier because I wasn't trying to control every single detail. Calm focus is more powerful than frantic hustle. Every single time. I don't care what your Hormozy boner mentor told you. So here's what I want you to do. Write out your answer to this one. It doesn't feel safe to slow down because, and maybe you don't want to admit that it doesn't feel safe. Say, I can't slow down because. Finish that sentence and get specific. What are you actually afraid will happen? Then read it out loud slowly. Read out loud slowly with the breath afterward. And notice, let yourself actually see what comes up. If you do this and you realize there's more here than you thought, most people do. And if you don't, I'll see you down the road. Shoot me a DM on Instagram. Let me know what landed. Because here's the thing. You can keep trying to optimize your productivity. You can keep adding more tools and systems and hacks. Or you can just go to the root and actually address why slowing down feels like a threat. The coaches who do this work, they're the ones who scale without burning out. They're the ones who make clear decisions from calm authority. They're the ones who build businesses that feel like home instead of a constant fucking emergency. So, I mean, what's it going to be, guys? Are you going to keep using fear as fuel, or are you going to reclaim your actual power? Right? Like, if you're ready to do the thing, if you're ready to like stop just like binging all of my YouTube videos and wonder, maybe I will, maybe I won't, come find me on Instagram and let's make something happen. And I mean, if this landed with you, if you're like, man, if you're like my clients who have been in the space since 2018, 2019 and say this is the missing link, share it with another coach who needs to hear it. Because the more of us who operate from calm instead of chaos, the better the industry becomes, the better impact our clients get, and the better that, quite frankly, the whole world becomes. If you forgot my name's Chase Tollison, and I'll see you in the next one. Much love, y'all.